said, Don, you saw it in the debate. They said, you admire President Putin. I said, I don't admire him. I said he was a strong leader, which he is. I mean, he might be bad, he might be good, but he's a strong leader. Well, you said the Chinese, the Tiananmen Square, they were right. I said, right? No. I said they put down a riot viciously, horribly, strongly. I don't say they were right. They weren't right. They are so dishonest. And if I didn't have a big speaker system in terms of my mouth, but the people that listen to it, and Twitter, at Real Donald Trump, by the way. Oh, it's so great. This Twitter, Facebook is so great. Because when they lie on television, I type out, ding, ding, ding. I'll do it myself. Ding, ding, dong, boom, ding, press. And they go like 12 seconds later, we have breaking news from Donald Trump. Here's the craziest thing. I was watching CNN before. I typed out something that Kasich without oil would have been nothing in Ohio. And they go, boom. And they all of a sudden, we have breaking news. I said, this is the most unbelievable. In the old days, it would take me years to get the word out. Now I just go, so it's great stuff.
Yeah.
But I will say this, look, we have to get strong. We have to get smart. So they asked about torture. He took a pass. They asked me about torture. You remember. I said, and I started by saying they're chopping off heads, because you have to do a little bit of warm-up, because it's a tough subject. It's a lousy subject, to be honest with you. I said, I am 100% fine with waterboarding, and it should be increased. And by the way, just so you understand, they said, well, he wants to disobey the laws. And it is true. We have laws. If we're too rough, think of this. We're too rough with our enemy. They just chopped off 3 heads of Christians who are great people, who went over there to help people. They get caught, and not even a question of getting caught. They weren't hiding. They grab them. They chop off their heads because they're great people that are helping people, right? And I'm saying to myself, and I have to defend this, but just so you understand. So we have laws, and we have rules and regulations, and rules of engagement. They have nothing. Very hard to beat somebody when you have rules, regulations at a very high level. I mean, this has never happened before. So we catch one of these animals that had just chopped off 10 heads, and we don't even know where we can try them. First of all, they're going to Guantanamo Bay. Okay, just so you understand. They're going to Guantanamo Bay, and that's going to be it. But you see the money we spend in Guantanamo? We're spending hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and we have like 90 prisoners left or 60 prisoners left. Believe me, we can do better than that, folks. There's so much fat. We spend hundreds of millions of dollars a year maintaining a place for 90 people. Look, we can do much better. Our government is so fat and so disgusting. Torture. So I said, we have to, waterboarding's fine. And also, if we can go much worse than waterboarding, that's okay with me too. So they said, oh, he may not obey the laws because we're not, as of now, we're actually not allowed to waterboard. So think of this. Now, waterboarding is considered, look, torture's terrible. Okay, we all agree, right? It's horrible. But when somebody is doing what they're doing, these horrible acts, the cutting and the drowning, we have to fight. We have to fight like we have to fight, right? We have no choice, right? So what happens is this. We have to expand our laws. We have to get much tougher. We want to knock them so fast and so furious. But think of this. The ISIS guys, they eat dinner like we do, right? They eat dinner like you have dinner and we have dinner. We all have dinner. Different locations, different people. We all have dinner. They have dinner. Can you imagine them sitting around, and each one of them chopped off 3 heads today and drowned 70 people, right? And they're talking about the United States doesn't want to allow waterboarding, which a lot of people don't consider torture. They think it's less than torture, but who knows? But think of it. So the United States, can you imagine what these people say? Can you imagine what these people say about the United States? How weak we are, how ineffective we are, and how frankly stupid we are, all right? Now there's a story that I tell. This is when we were strong. But in 1919, General Pershing, has anyone heard that story? Should I tell the story or not? Some of you have heard it. Has anybody not heard it? All right, enough. Should I tell it? It's a rough story. And the media said, oh, that's a terrible story. Well, I'm just telling the truth. And it was in the Philippines. And he's a rough guy, and he's sitting on a horse. You know, in those days it was horses. Beautiful horse. He's a straight guy, beautiful-looking guy. He's up on the horse. And they were having problems with radical Islamic terrorism. Whoa, I'm so shocked. This is 1919. Some things never change, folks. Some things never change. And by the way, we have to get to the bottom of it. We cannot allow people into the country that want to destroy us. We cannot do it. We can't allow the Syrians. We can't allow the migration, the Syrians, into the country. We don't know who they are, where they come from. General Pershing. So they were having a tremendous terror problem. Okay, tremendous. Now, the difference between then and now is the weaponry. That's the only difference. Everything else is the same, but the weapons are so powerful now, what they can take out, the destruction. In those days, you didn't have that, but you still had tremendous problems. So they catch 50 terrorists. A little different than we handle them today. Today, we read them their rights, we take care of them, we feed them the best food, make sure they have television, we give them areas to pray. It's a wonderful thing. We're wonderful people. We're wonderful, stupid people. That's right. So General Pershing, tough guy. And he had the whole deal going. And they catch 50 terrorists and in the Philippines. And they were doing tremendous destruction. What happens is he lines them up to be shot. He lines them up, gets them, knows they're guilty, they've admitted their guilt, lines 50 people up to be shot. And as you know, swine, pig, all of that, the big problem for them, big problem. He took 2 pigs, they chopped them open, took the bullets that were going to go and shoot these men, took the bullets, the 50 bullets, dropped them in the pigs, swished them around, so there was blood all over those bullets, had his men, instructed his men to put the bullets into the rifles. They put the bullets into the rifles, and they shot 49 men. Now, we don't like this, but I'm just saying, if we're going to win, we're going to win, or let's not play the game, and let's not be a country anymore. Let's be blown up by everything. They put the bullets in the rifles, and they shot 49 of the 50 men. Dead. Boom.
Good.
So it was a pig-infested bullet in each one. They then dumped the bodies into a mass grave, and they dumped the pigs in with the bodies, and they took the final bullet, and they gave it to the one person that they decided not to shoot. And they said, here, take this bullet, go back to your people, and explain what we just did. Okay? But that's not the end. Here's the end. Want to hear the end? He went back and he said what just happened. For 28 years, there was no terrorism. 28 years. So, I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad. This is history, folks. This is history. This is what is going on. This is history. We're either going to win or we're going to lose. You know, it's not going to be, because we can't continue to go the way we're going right now. We're either going to win the battle or we're going to lose the battle. We have to do what we have to do. We have to clean it out. These are people that have horrible thoughts. These are people that have visions that you wouldn't believe. These are people, interestingly, when I won in South Carolina, just before the vote, the Pope said bad about me. I said, this can only happen to me, the Pope. Because the Mexicans, he had just left Mexico, and he's on the plane, and he said something about Donald Trump. Now, what he said is what the Mexicans told him. Look, we have to stop illegal immigration, right? Crime, all the problems, drugs, all the problems. We're going to stop it. But they said, oh, it's terrible what this American Trump wants to do. So the Pope came out. By the way, the next day, he issued such a nice statement. He sort of, I don't know, you can't get the Pope to apologize, but it was sort of very nice what he did. I said, I'm the only person, because I felt I could win in South Carolina, even though it was supposed to be cruise territory, and I won in a landslide. It was like a massive landslide. And by the way, I won with women, I won with men, I won with highly educated, I won with less than highly educated, I won with soldiers, I won with vets, I won with evangelicals big, I won with everybody. So it was good. But just so you understand, look, we have got to toughen up. Now, we don't like it. even a scene like yesterday, I didn't want to put the police at any discomfort level because they would have been very uncomfortable. We had 300 police. We had, the Secret Service guys who are right here, and they're fantastic people. I don't want to put them to a strong test. I don't want to do that. And we did the right thing. And we were given credit for doing the right thing. Interestingly, by doing what I did, that story is all over the world right now. That we made the right decision under a great deal of pressure, that was a great decision. Who else would make it? It would have been much easier. Go, do it, let people fight, let people hurt themselves. I didn't want to see that happen.
All right.
And we were given a lot of credit. And the people that protested, actually, one of them said, I think we gave Trump an awfully good platform. They hurt themselves. And they had Bill Ayers there. They had Bill Ayers, who probably wrote Obama's first book, the one that was actually well written. They had a lot of people there that are not really good. We have to have one protester, right? So we have one protester. Looks a little wacky. Yeah, he's a whack job. Listen. So we have one protester, and watch the story tomorrow. Massive protest at Trump rally. They won't talk about the crowds. They'll talk about massive protests because, again, they are the worst. Okay, so here's the story. We are going to strengthen our country. We are going to hopefully win Ohio. Honestly, look. Kasich is a baby. He's a baby. He can't be president. Too many problems. Too much on let people come into our country, approve. Just the fact that he approved NAFTA. Nobody knows that. The fact that he was with Lehman Brothers when it took down the world. There's so many factors. Can't be president. It will be not a good situation. I will do such a great job. You have no idea. I will do it. And you know what else? A lot of people are going to be surprised when I'll bring unity back. I'm going to bring jobs in communities that don't have jobs. I'm going to bring jobs back from China. I'm going to bring jobs back from Japan. I'm going to bring our jobs back from Mexico. I'm going to bring jobs back to this country, folks. And you won't even believe it. We're going to start winning again. We are going to win again. So, just a couple of things. Second Amendment, we are going to fight, and we're not going to give it up. Trade deals. We're going to make some of the greatest deals ever made. They need us much more than we need them, folks. Remember. And they all say he can't be a true conservative. Well, I'm the most conservative person in the world on the military, on the vets, on education, on everything, on healthcare. I am. The one thing they say, but he's not a free trader. In fact, I remember Jeb Bush would get up. He is not a conservative. And I said, and he is very low energy, okay? No, he wasn't a nice person. He was not a nice guy. Jeb was not a nice guy to me, I will tell you that. Should have been, but he wasn't. But let me just tell you, we are going to be so strong on trade. Now, these so-called conservatives, these people that don't know what's happening, that's okay. Are you okay? Don't worry about it. It's easy over there. They can just put them out on the runway. They say about free trade. I am a free trader. I'm a big free trader. But let me tell you, it's got to be smart trade. China, we have a trade deficit with China this year, listen to this, over $500 billion. Over 500. We can't have that. It's been going on for years. 300 billion, 400 billion. You know, it's 500 billion. And then they say, he's going to start a trade war. Well, I'm not, except for one problem. You'd be better off with a trade war than losing $500 billion. And yesterday, I think in the Wall Street Journal or the Times, they both treat me terribly, but these are minor details. They had a big story that Trump has totally changed the thinking on trade. Totally changed. It's true. For 200 years, everybody talked about free trade, and so do I. But you know what? It's got to be fair trade. It's got to be smart trade. We got to do something. We got to get something. I have friends that are manufacturers. They cannot get their product into China. China dumps everything over here. We don't charge them tax. We don't charge anything. I have friends that are absolute great manufacturers. They make a better product than anything made in China. They can't get their product into China. And when they do, they get charged a massive tax. But we don't do that because we don't know what's going on. Those days are over. I have Carl Icahn endorse me, the great businessman, many of the great businessmen of the world. We're going to use our top chess players, because that's what they are. The great people, the people that have made these great fortunes, they're great. You know, there's a reason. They're great negotiators. They know what's happening. They understand it. They love it. They want to help us. They will come in. Let me tell you, if I put Carl or some of the other great names, you know some of them. And frankly, some of them are better than all of them, and nobody knows. I know so many people. We have the greatest negotiators in the world. We don't use them. We use political hacks to make deals with China, to make deals with Japan. I mean, we have Carolyn Kennedy representing us in Japan. And she admits she got the job. How did you get it? I don't know. And she's a lovely person. I always say, I like her because Ivanka likes her, okay? I just don't want her trading on automobiles, okay? I want to get some ruthless I want to get one of the killers, right? Somebody that you don't want to have dinner with. I mean, some of these guys are so bad. If you ever met him, this beautiful young woman, if she ever met him, you would get sick to your stomach. You wouldn't want to have him over for dinner. You wouldn't want to talk to him. You'd say he's a horrible, horrible human being. He's rude, he's crude, he's vicious. You want nothing to do with him. I want him negotiating for us, folks. Okay? But I have the best. I have them. Actually, some of them are very nice. Not too many of them, but that's okay. But some of them are very nice. But these are our greatest negotiators. We're the greatest in the world. But we're losing our companies. Pfizer is leaving, right? Pfizer. Take a look at Carrier. Now, what I would do, and I get killed for this. They say, well, that's not very, free. But look, Carrier just announced, so I told you, they announced they're moving into Mexico. Here's what I do. And Ford, much bigger. Ford, $2.5 billion plan. But I've been talking about that for a long time, and now they're doubling up. They're going to build much more in Mexico. It was announced 3 days ago. You know why? Because nobody in our administration talks to them and says, you can't do this, folks. You can't leave us like this, folks. You can't keep doing this, folks. But I'll do it. Take Carrier. That's so easy. I don't want to use Carl or any of the killers. I just want to say it's so easy. Oh, I do this stuff. I do this stuff so well. I do it so well. So here's the story. You ready? And by the way, I put in some of the greatest financial statements ever seen by man into the General Elections Commission. Everyone said, he'll never give his financials. I reported all of my financials, and the reporters are saying, oh, damn it. They're really good. All right. They were hoping. And a friend of mine who's a very rich guy said, now I know you're rich, because you would have never run if you weren't really rich. You better believe it. So anyway, now I built a great company, very little debt, tremendous cash flow, some of the greatest assets in the world. I mean, I own Doral. We had the big championship last week. Hundreds of acres in the middle of Miami. I own all of these buildings, Trump Tower and 40 Wall Street, the Bank of America building in San Francisco, big chunks, and all these things, many tremendous assets, some of the greatest. And the reason I say that, very simple, very, very simple. Because that's the kind of thinking we need in our country, at least for a while. So we're going to get the best people. But here's Carrier. You ready? So Carrier announces, I see these 14, somebody had one of these crazy cell phones with a camera, right? They're wonderful things because they really get you. And he's taking, some management guy is saying, sorry, we're closing Carrier after how many years? Many, many years. They did a great job. Great looking people. They're devastated, and you see it. We are closing. We're moving to Mexico. Good luck. It wasn't even a warm speech. It was like, bye-bye, we're moving to Mexico, right? I would call, and I know this isn't presidential. Ivanka would say, Dad, you cannot call Carrier. It's not presidential. I was like this great student. I was like this I went to the best schools. My uncle was a top professor at MIT, a super genius with science. And I know exactly and I understand it might not be presidential. Who cares? I tell her, who cares? When she said, Dad, act presidential in the last debate. So when they came at me a little bit, not much, they sort of used to not coming at me. You saw what happened to Marco. He went boing down the tubes. But everybody that's come at me has gone down the tubes. Is that right? be great for our nation? Wouldn't that be nice? I mean, think of it. I don't want to mention all the names because some of them have already called me wanting to endorse me. I've got some endorsing. Oh, that's okay. It's so late. It's so late.
Yeah, it is.
Get them out. Get them out of here, folks. Why is he? I'm just saying we're going to make good trade deals. Why is he angry? We're going to make great trade deals. Why would anybody be upset? And what took him so long to put up his hand? We're almost finished. What took him so long?
He's an idiot.
Go back home to mommy. Go back home. Go back home to mommy. Looks like he's 15 years old. What's going on over here? What's going on? I take him back home to mom. She'll lock him in his bedroom. So folks, here's what happens. I will call up Carrier, the president, because I have to do it myself. I know it's not. Thank you for the warning. I was ready for him, but it's much easier if the cops do it, don't we? What a great job. What a great job. And to think I had such an easy life. What do I need this for? You know why I need it? Because I've done great. I love this country. We're going to make our country great again. It's payback time. It's payback time. These guys are so fantastic. All right, so let me finish. I'm going to call up Carrier, and I'm going to tell the head of Carrier, I hope you enjoy your stay in Mexico, folks, but every single unit that you make and send across our border, which now will be real, you're going to pay a 35% tax. 35% tax. And you know what Carrier's going to do? They're going to call me in 24 hours because I'm not taken care of by the special interests. I'm not taken care of by the donors. They're going to call me back and they're going to go, Mr. President, we're moving back into the United States. We're going to build in the United States. That's what's going to happen. 100% sure. So let me just tell you. Are you ready? We don't win anymore, but we're going to start winning. We're going to win with our military. We're going to win with our vets. We're going to take care of our vets. And by the way, our military, and it's the least expensive thing we can do because we don't want to use it. Remember, I'm the most militaristic person here, but I was against that ridiculous war. Our military is going to be bigger and better and stronger than ever before, and nobody is going to mess with us, folks. Nobody. We're going to get rid of Common Core. We're bringing our education local. We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare, and we're going to win with its replacement. We're going to have such strong borders. You're going to be so proud of them. We're going to have such strong borders. We're going to have a wall, and people are coming into our country, but they're going to come in legally. Now, so important is this. So important. Kasich cannot do the job. In fact, most people don't even know how to pronounce his name. Kasich. Pretend it's a K. Kasich. He cannot do the job, folks. He's not your president. I hope you go to the polls. By the way, is there anything more fun than a Trump rally? I hope you go to the polls. You got to go to the polls. You know, the last time I made people, I said, how about putting up your hand and saying, I swear that I'll go. Do you want to do that? Okay, ready? I love you all, by the way. I love you all. Say, I swear that on Tuesday I will go to the polls and vote for Donald Trump. Thank you, everybody. I love Ohio. I love your people. I love Ohio. So look, here's the story. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win so much. You're going to get tired of winning, maybe. But we're going to win everything. You are going to be so proud of your president. You're going to be so proud of your country. On Tuesday, go vote. I love you all. Thank you, Ohio. Thank you. I love you. Thank you.